Hello everyone, so in this video I'll be talking about the type of bank accounts that you can open if you decide to come to Russia. So this is for students who are interested to open a bank account because they are here to study for a couple of years, or if you find some work in Russia and you'll be here and you need to receive your money in rubles, or in general if you're interested to have a bank account where you can keep rubles, then I can recommend some bank accounts that would be, in my opinion, really beneficial for these use cases. So the first bank account that I would recommend is Sberbank. So Sberbank is the largest bank in Russia. They have a large ties with the Russian government, and the reason why you should have it is because almost everyone in Russia have it, especially the older generation. And that would be very convenient because there is in the Sberbank an ecosystem that you can interact with, and especially if you want to transfer money informally between your friends, when you go out for dinner, for example, when you want to split the bills, this sort of thing. It's great because everyone would have a Sberbank account. To open a bank account, you just have to go to a bank, any bank, bring your own passport, and you'll be able to open a bank account. And if you deposit a minimum of 20k rubles, which is not a lot, maybe it's about 250 US dollar, somewhere around there, and then you don't have to pay like their own fees or interest fees. Just remember that during when you open the application, you don't want any notifications because they do charge you for notifications. But in that, yeah, you can even open an interest-bearing account when you open a Sberbank account, which earns you higher interest. For this, you have to toggle through the app and in the applications, or you can go to a bank if you're unsure because there's no translation, it's all in Russian. Um, you can go to a bank account and ask that you want to earn more interest when you open a bank account. Other than that, yeah, there are a lot of ATM machines with Sberbank where you can deposit money and you can withdraw money. Now, the second app which I could recommend, or I would recommend definitely, if you are here to stay for the long term, right? You must get a Tinkoff Bank. Now, Tinkoff Bank, in my opinion, is perhaps the best bank um, in the world in terms of its services and the things you can do with the bank. So firstly, opening a bank account is totally free. In fact, you have to do it online. It's an online bank. They don't have a bank branch where you can go and complain or like want certain things done. It's all everything's online, but it's so efficient. For example, if you wanna order a ATM card for you to use on your daily basis, you just go on the bank account and you collect the card. And when you collect the card, you can see all the card designs, and you can request up to 8 cards, all with no extra fees. It's totally free. When you order a card, you can choose the designs, and every few months there's a limited edition designs, either for a small fee like maybe $3 or something, or it's free. There was one time there was a Rick and Morty edition. This was before the sanctions. Someone will come deliver in the next few days, like 2 or 3 days. Someone will come over directly to your apartment. Just put your apartment address. I was staying in Nizhny Novgorod. Someone came to my apartment to deliver my card, which I took, and then I could continue spending. In total, I think I had like 4 different cards, no additional fee. And the best thing about this bank account is that when you spend, you have immediate cashback, and the cashback is such a great thing to have, especially when you spend a lot for your groceries, or if you go on restaurants quite a bit. So the cashback, there's a minimum cashback. I think it was like 1% for normal goods and stuff, but every single month, every single user are able to select like 3 random categories. It's like a lottery of sorts. Like each person will have a different category which they can choose, and it's actually based on like your preferences. Okay, so for example, sometimes you get like Burger King. You get 10% off your Burger King purchases. So when you go to a Burger King and you just tap and spend using your Tinkoff card, you will literally get 10% off the Burger King menu or whatever you order. And then sometimes you get really great categories like a taxi, right? I always pick the taxi one because I take taxi. Well, taxi is pretty cheap. It's very cheap in Russia. Taxi is really cheap in Russia. So I could and but the public transport unfortunately in like Nizhny Novgorod is terrible. So I tended to take taxi if time is of the essence. So I spend quite a bit on taxi, and I'm getting like a 5% cashback on the taxi is such a rewarding thing, and the cashback is rewarded automatically at the end of every month or at the end of the cycle, and then you can see like the money deposited back into your account after you spend it. So it's such a great thing to have. Yeah, so the cashback is the main draw for me. Think of also have its like a ecosystem that are integrated with think of for example, you can actually have mobile data. Imagine mobile data, which is priced much better than traditional mobile data plans that you can normally find like Megaphone or MTC. It's called Think of Mobile. You add in money into like an e-wallet, yeah, like an e-wallet. Put in money into it, and then you select the plan that you want, and then you get like a constantly you get like your own internet, and the internet is like eSIM. Of course, it's only for phones that support the eSIM. And of course, I think if your phone does, you should definitely get an eSIM instead of physical SIM, right? And generally, yeah, almost everyone have a think of bank account, especially the younger generations, because they see the advantages of it, and also the card designs are really nice. And another thing is the app for think of is in English. I mean, you can change the language to English. They have like a language support there, so you don't have to know Russian, like unlike the Spear Bank where you need Russian. And I often find myself screenshotting the app and using Yandex Translate. Don't use Google Translate because Google Translate don't really translate Russian correctly. Yeah, like you have to use like Yandex Translate, which is more accurate. Google gives funny translations, but of course, after you use it, after you use the app for like about a year or so, you'll probably get used to like the Russian words on it. If you can read them, then everything should be fine. You don't have to worry about like exchanging money between someone who don't have a Tinkoff bank account and someone with only a Spear bank account. Like I said, almost everyone has a Spear bank account, but not everyone has a Tinkoff bank account. You don't have to worry. There is actually something called the CBP. It is an internal transfer system within Russia, which is very useful. It's connected with all the other Russian banks. CBP allows you a certain amount of transfers between Russian banks. So from Tinkoff, you can transfer to your friend with a Spear bank account for free, and there's like a limit. I think maybe it's like 50k rubles per month you can transfer, and afterwards there's a small fee for any additional transfer using the CBP. But yeah, so these are the or bank accounts that I think you can try to open, or you should open if you come to Russia. Unfortunately, both I think of what is it think of and the Spear Bank, both of them are under the international sanctions. So you won't be able to use Swift bank transfers to transfer money into Spear Bank or Tinkoff. I will make a separate video about how you can transfer money into Russia, but I'm not sure whether it will be flagged. But I'll just make a video and upload it and see what happens. Um, yeah, so they are using an internal system called the Mir payment system in Russia. Is similar to the Swift, but it's just that it's not connected to the Swift system. Just one thing before I end. So there is one bank that is not under sanctions, and I believe it is Gazprom Bank. Ironically, it is the bank which sells oil to Europe. It's not under sanctions, and then you can sort of like transfer money through Swift network. You can try to apply for Tinkoff online, which in whatever country you are in. Perhaps they allow you to open a bank account, and regarding the card, maybe they'll have to mail you or something. But it's good to have. Thank you for listening. I hope this is useful for someone who's looking into opening a bank account in Russia. And I'll see you in the next video.